Oficial. Slot must act quickly to avoid leaving the fans in shock. Hello, my friend Red supporter. Welcome to your channel for news about the greatest and best club in the world. Spanish journalist José Félix Díaz from Marca has brought important information about the future of Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konaté, raising new doubts about the player's stay at the English club. The 26-year-old French defender has a contract with Liverpool only until the end of this season, which opens up the possibility for him to sign with another club on a free transfer. Among the main interested parties is Real Madrid, which has been linked for months as a possible destination for the player. According to Díaz, Real Madrid's interest in Konaté is more than just a rumor. The journalist stated that there is a real commitment between the player and the Spanish club, which strengthens the possibility of a concrete transfer in the coming months. Konaté's future is therefore uncertain. If he does not renew with Liverpool, he could leave Anfield in 2026 when his contract expires. Although there has been no official statement from the player expressing a desire to leave, the signs of a potential move are growing stronger. This season, the defender has not been able to replicate the high level of performance he showed previously. His inconsistent performances have drawn attention, especially considering the potential he has shown since his time at RB Leipzig. Even so, Konaté remains a top-level player with qualities that make him essential when in good form: speed, physical strength, and excellent timing with the ball. Former player and commentator Micah Richards has praised Konaté in the past, highlighting his talent and room for growth. According to him, "I watched him a lot at Leipzig. He has a lot of potential. He's very good at everything: precise tackles, excellent recovery timing, as well as speed and strength. To reach the next level, he just needs to focus more and play with more confidence on the ball." Now, Konaté faces a decisive moment in his career. He will need to choose between staying at Liverpool, gradually taking on the role of Virgil van Dijk's successor in defense, or seeking a new challenge at another European giant. If he chooses to leave, the English club will have little power to stop him, as his contract is nearing its end. However, fans and the coaching staff hope he decides to stay, as his continuity would be considered fundamental for the future of Liverpool's defense. In any case, the situation continues to develop, and the coming weeks could be crucial in determining whether Konaté will remain at Anfield or if Real Madrid will take the next step to complete one of the most talked about transfers in European football.
Liverpool may soon face an important decision regarding Argentine midfielder Alexis McAllister, one of the club's major signings in recent years. Since arriving at Anfield after leaving Brighton in a deal worth £35 million in the summer of 2023, the World Cup-winning Argentine has won over the fans with his talent, vision, and ability to control the midfield. His performance was key for the Reds to return to the top of English football, culminating in the Premier League title in the 2024-2025 season. However, after a promising start, McAllister is currently experiencing a period of uncertainty. The end of last season brought physical difficulties that affected his performance. The 26-year-old player was left on the bench in some matches and did not participate in the last 2 games of the campaign. It was expected that the summer would bring full recovery and a strong preseason under Arne Slot, but this did not happen. The Argentine failed to reach optimal conditioning, compromising his start to the current season. So far, McAllister has not completed 90 minutes in any of his 6 Premier League matches, unusual for a player of his quality. This limitation raised an alert within the club, especially given the increasing competition in midfield. The arrival of young German Florian Wirtz has intensified the battle for positions, while players like Dominik Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones have also stood out, challenging for a starting spot. In this scenario, sporting director Richard Hughes and Liverpool's management will need to carefully evaluate McAllister's future. His current contract runs until 2028, but there are questions about whether the Argentine will be offered an early renewal or a salary increase. If the coaching staff believes the player has reached his peak at Anfield, the club may decide to sell him while his market value remains high. Naturally, one of the clubs closely watching the situation is Real Madrid. The Spanish giant has a history of interest in McAllister and has monitored his development since his Brighton days. Transfer expert Dean Jones confirmed on the Ranks FC podcast that there is genuine interest from Real Madrid in signing the Argentine, while also noting that the Merengues are monitoring Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea as part of a potential midfield overhaul. Alexis McAllister is also strongly linked to Real Madrid, and this interest is real. But right now, I hear much more about Enzo Fernandez. That narrative seems to be gaining strength and could be the club's priority. Still, it's undeniable that McAllister is on their radar. This uncertainty places the Argentine at a decisive point in his career. To secure his future at Liverpool and regain his status as a key player, McAllister will need to return to his best form, the level that delighted both Reds fans and Argentine supporters at the Qatar World Cup. Otherwise, the club may consider a strategic sale while Real Madrid watches closely, ready to act if the midfielder becomes available. Alexis McAllister's future, therefore, remains undefined. Between the expectation of a comeback at Liverpool and the interest of European giants, the coming months will be crucial in determining whether he remains one of the midfield references at Anfield or begins a new chapter in his career on another major football stage.
In recent days, several reports have linked Michael Olise to Liverpool, attracting significant attention among English fans. However, Bayern Munich seems to be handling these speculations with complete confidence. According to Christian Falk, sporting director of Bild, the Bavarian club shows no concern about losing their young French winger, even with growing interest from the Premier League and La Liga. According to Falk, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Real Madrid are closely monitoring Olise, who is just 23 years old and whose market value has reportedly surpassed 115 million euros. Despite this, Bayern maintains a firm stance. The player is not for sale. Within the club's management, there is strong belief that Olise is part of the long-term plan and will be a key figure in the team for years to come. There's even some surprise that more English clubs did not pursue him more aggressively last summer, when he was still at Crystal Palace. At that time, Newcastle United was the only Premier League club seriously trying to sign him, but they were outbid by Bayern. Now, Bayern is acting preventively to keep Premier League giants at bay. Negotiations to extend Olise's contract have been underway for several weeks, although the club acknowledges it is not in the strongest bargaining position. The growing international interest strengthens the player's and his agent's position, particularly regarding salary expectations. Currently, Olise earns around 14 million euros per year, but an increase in a new deal seems almost certain. Even so, Bayern's salary structure must be carefully managed. The management, together with sporting director Max Eberl, insists on keeping salaries under control. Currently, Manuel Neuer and Joshua Kimmich earn around 20 million euros per year, while Harry Kane sits at the top, with approximately 24 million euros. Nevertheless, there are voices within the club advocating an exception for Olise. Considered one of the most promising talents in European football, the Frenchman has shown consistent performance since arriving in Munich, combining speed, technique, and great decision-making ability. Bayern sees him as one of the pillars of the team's future, capable of leading the next generation alongside players like Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz. In summary, although clubs like Liverpool, Manchester City, and Real Madrid are genuinely interested, Bayern Munich remains confident and determined to keep Michael Olise in their squad. For the German club, letting go of a player of this caliber is not on the agenda. On the contrary, the goal is to ensure he remains at Allianz Arena for many years, establishing himself as one of the top stars of the next decade. Thank you very much for watching until the end. See you next time!